Alright, so magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat at magandang umaga din po, sir. At ako po si Abdurrahman Magunang at sa araw na po ito, ako po yung isa sa mga inatasan niyo po na mag-report sa araw na ito at ibahagi ko sa inyo ang mga lumad group dito sa Mindanao. At together with my mga member ay ibabahagi po nila ang mga iba't ibang uri ng mga tribo ng mga lumad dito sa Mindanao. At ngayon po, tara, samahan niyo po ako sa aking paglalakbay tungo sa mga lumad group. Alright, so ngayon ibabahagi ko sa inyo ngayon ang mga lumad groups. Alright, so lumad are the group of Australians and indigenous group in the southern Philippines, as if one of their meaning a native or indigenous. The short term of katauhang lumad, literally indigenous people, the autonomy officially adopted by neglects of Lumad Mindanao People Federation or LMPF Founding Assembly on 26 June 1986 at the Guadalupe Formation Center, Balindog, Kidapawan, Cotabato, Philippines. President Corazon Aquino, signed into the Law Republic Act 6734, where the world used the Article 13, Section 82 to distinguish Lumad ethnic communities from the Bangsamoro. Alright, si President Corazon Aquino pala ang nag-resign ng Republic Act 6734 ang mga lumad daw ay hindi bilong sa Bangsamoro. Alright, so on the March 2, 2021, a National Commission of Indigenous People used a resolution denouncing the use of the term of lumad when referring to the indigenous cultural communities or ICC or indigenous people or IPs. Alright, so noong on March 2 pala, 2021, ang the National Commission of Indigenous People na kinuha yung o tinanggal ang panghalang lumad at pinalitan ng indigenous cultural communities or ICC or indigenous people. Alright, so their religion are Christianity, Roman Catholic, Protestant, and the enemies. So, ibig sabihin ng enemies, yun yung mga sinasamba nila, yung mga hayop. Kung makakita sila ng hayop, ay sinasamba nila. Alright, so dumako naman po tayo sa 18 ethnic tribes of Lumad. So, batay din sa aking pananaliksik na hindi lang pala 18 ang ethnic tribes of Lumad at umaabot pala ito ng 20 plus ang mga tribes nila. So, ngayon ay ibabahagi namin sa inyo yung mga popular dito sa Mindanao. So, isa na doon ang Bagubo, Manobo, Tibuli, Banwahon, Bilan or Bilaan, Bukidnon, Dibabawon, Mamanuwa, Mandaya, Mangwangan, Mansaka, Mantigsalog, Subanin, Tagakaulo, Talandig, Tiduray, Ubo, at Higaonon. Alright? At ngayon, dumako naman po tayo sa politics. Alright, so it's involved of organization and mobilization of the group based on specific identities, largely based on the ties of blood, kinship, a common ancestry, language of territory. This is essential concern of culture as a becoming an object of debate, manipulation, emotional attention, or a political struggle. Alright, the dato was advised by a council of elders composed of dato and family heads. Today, this council of elders may still be highly influential in the choosing of the village. The dato and the members of the barrio council composed of the barrio captain, the captain assistant, the councilor for the education, the councilor for the health and assistant, the barrio council, which is formally elected by a village of people under the influence of the council of elders. It is usually composed of young educated people who are familiar with the lowland culture, especially the language of trade. Actually, however, the Barrio Council still differs to the authority of the Council of Elders, which as whose jurisdiction covers matters involving a batasan or adat, custom law, or the marriage arrangement, penalty for the taboo breaking, and settlement of inter-family quarrels through the Barrio Council head law and enforcement, a matter concerning a civil law, a community improvements, and a question over the land ownership. Alright, so ang politics pala nila ay iisa batay sa aking binanggit na mga 18 lumad groups dito sa Mindanao. Alright, so batay po din sa aking pananaliksik na ang mga lumad daw pala na kapag ang mga ownership ng mga lupa ay dapat ang mga papeles ay sa datu at kapag may mga problema sila ay dato pa rin sila pumupunta. Alright, habang halimbawa sa arrangement of marriage ay batay dito sa aking pananaliksik ay 6 to 4 6 to 12 pala ang naka-arrange na doon yung mga bata, or di ba nakaka-curious sila. So at as a Muslim din mayroong mga ganun din, pero ayun literally na nawawala-wala din kasi because of this child, because of sa mga bata ayaw nila. Alright, at ngayon, dumako naman po tayo sa Bagubo. Alright, Bagubo are the people with the Proto-Malayan features with a strong social structure enable them as a group that integrate with the main body politic while retaining much of their indigenous costumes, belief, and values. Alright, the Bagobo constitutes one of the largest group among the indigenous people of southern Mindanao. They are composed of 3 sub-groups, namely at Tagabawa, Siklata, or Guayangan, and the Ubo. Although they belong to the social linguistic group Bagobo, they are also differ in some ways such as the dialect, dance, step, costume, and their color preference mention a few. Alright, so the first ethnic group in the Mindanao encountered by Spaniard at the end of the 19th century. Its name was driven from the words bago, meaning anew, and ubo or ubo, meaning growth or grow, which refer to the recent formation of the people along the Davao Coast. Alright, so noong 19th century pala, ang mga Spaniard, ang kaunang-unang encounter nila ay yung mga Bagubo. Alright, so tinawag silang bago at meaning new, and ubo meaning growth or grow or pag-usbong. Alright, so they have a light brown complexion, brown or brownish, a black wavy to curly hair, dark and widely set eyes, broad nose, and full rounded lips. The ancient of settlement of Bagubo is called Sibulan, or served the center of the Bagubo settlement when the Spaniard came. As strong as social structure was enabled to the group blend well the main body politics while retaining their indigenous costumes, belief, and values. Alright, so ang mga Bagubo pala ay ang kulay kayo mangge, at yung mga buhok nila ay makulot, at yung mata nila ay maitim, at yung nose nila ay mapango or may mga matataas din na mga ilong nila, and yung mga labi nila ay rounded or mabilog. Alright, the Bagobo have ordained traditional weaponry and the other metal arts. They are noted for their skill in producing brass article through the ancestral laws to wax brasses. They are weave of abaca clothes of the earth tones and make a basket that they are trained with the beds or fiber of horse hair. So, ang pamumuhay pala ng mga Bagubo ay sa pamamagitan ng abaka. Alright, at gumagawa sila din ng mga basket, at gumagawa din sila ng at hanap din buhay nila yung fibers. Or the dress of men consists of short, tightly fitting jacket, open in the front, and a very short tight trunks. The women's jacket are similar in the shape to those of these men, but they are closed in front, so they have be slave on the over the head. The women wear also through the skirt of the some with throughout like a sack. The jacket of both men and women are richly ornamented with a shell disc, glass, beds, or embroidery. The men wear a kerchief of folded and tied on their heads, and a woman coiffure is embellished with a bed of instructed combats cut out of wood from isang heavy posture of bed. So, yung mga lalaki pala na mga bagubo ay nakasuot sila ng jacket pero open. But sa mga babae, dapat naka-close. And yung mga lalaki din po ay dapat may mga kerchief dito sa kanilang ulo. And for women naman po ay coiffure. But yung mga babae sa kanila ay puno-puno ng mga kwentas na mga makukulay. And for sa amin mga Maranao ay tinatawag itong borloloy. Both men and women wear are the flags connected under the chin by numerous varicose ring of beads. The principal weapon of the Bagubo warrior are the spear of the knight. There are several forms of the both weapons in the collection, the knives including a several finds, example of the typical Malayan crest, shelled at the either round or oblong. The round shell is practically identical with those carried by some Javanese tribes and be Maros. They are the bow and seam place a little reliance on its warfare. On attack begin with the hurling of spears. This is, however, merely a preliminary to the real combat, which is carried on the close quarter with a knife. So, ang mga bagubo pala na gumagamit din sila ng mga sandata para sa mga protection nila. Isa na doon ang paggawa ng pana. Kasi ang mga bagubo pala at batay dito sa akin pananaliksik na ang mga bagubo ay pinapatay sila ng walang kalaban-laban. At ngayon, may gumagawa na ngayon sila ng protection laban sa mga masasamang terrorist, alright? So, may mga protection din sila. So, Manobo is a Spanish from the Manobo, which of course means people. The Manobo appear to be a remnant of the very first Austronesian invasion from Taiwan, predating a people like Ipugo of Luzon. So, ibig sabihin ang mga Manobo pala ay galing sa Taiwan. At kung sa Luzon naman ay tinatawag silang Ipugar or just like for Ipugao. And also, Manobo have adoption to virtually every ecological niche from Raj Highland coast and found the Sarangani Island to Agusan del Sur, the Davao province, Bukidnon, and North-South Cotabato. The term may have to originate from Mansuba, a combination of Atman people and Suba forever. Alright, and the Obo are the Manobo subtribe who inhabits the more isolated mountains of southwest Cotabato, an area known as the Taltabayong, as well as more southerly Davao del Sur. As a last country, they are buried close to 7,000 OSCC in 1987. A following of their member in the subsequent year has proven difficult. Alright, and religious belief of Manobo revolving around the concept of many ancient spirit interfering in the lives of human. They believe that the spirit can introduce the human activities to accomplish desires. The spirit are also believed to have a human characteristic. Alright, so yung mga Manobo pala ay naniniwala sila sa spirit or sinasamba nila yung hindi nakikitang espiritu. Alright, so farming is a major livelihood of Manobo according to Aliho 2012. But unfortunately, their farming methods are still primitive agriculturally, and they still practice the slash and burn of farming. And according to Peralta 2013, they as usually own a 2 to 3 farming tools, as some of them are now engaged in the secondary activities to enhancement their income. And so on social life of Manubo, partial male dominated. The heads of family as husband polygamy, having a more than one wife at the time. It's a common and it's allowed according to Manuel. However, among the Bukidnon, most marriage are monogamous, and the only concept is that they're powerful dato. Alright, so noong palang batay kay Alejandro noong 2012, ang mga Manobo pala ay nagpa-farming sila, and according to Peralta 2013 ay ang mga ginagamit nila na mga materyales ay 2 to 3 pala. Isa na doon yung plows, what you call that, yung pala at iba pa. Alright, and sa batay din sa aking pananaliksik ay ang mga Manubo pala ay hindi lang iisa yung asawa nila, at ay ito pa rin pa ay marami. And according po din sa aking pananaliksik na ang mga Manubo pala ay mahilig sila mag-asawa ng marami tulad ng mga Muslim. Alright, so at yung mga Manobo din ay dapat pumunta sila sa dato bago sila magpakasal. And ngayon ay sana mayroon kayong natutunan sa aking pag-uulat sa araw na to, at hindi pa dyan nagtatapos ang aking pag-uulat, dahil ipagpapatuloy ng aking mga member ang mga kanilang mga reporter. Alright, so hanggang dito na lang sa aking pag-uulat sa araw na ito.